to you, Nia Jack.
Yeah. Say hello to David and Ivanka.
Yes.
Very nice, yeah.
Exactly. And okay, first couple of moves. It is a Queen's Pawn opening, and will we see? Okay, it is the Catalan opening. This was the linchpin of Magnus's opening preparation for the World Championship match, and they had an ongoing debate in Poland over the New Year at the World Rapid Championship. They actually played each other in a Catalan opening as well, again. So this one, a bit of history, and Magnus has forced Nepomniachtchi to think. He's looking off to the side there, and that's not because he's looking at anything in particular, it's just he's trying to go into recall mode. And look at Nepomniachtchi, deep in concentration already, trying to remember what he had studied 6 months ago, or even more recently for the World Championship match. This position, I'm pretty sure he's gone into detail on, but can he remember? Magnus will have studied it this morning, most likely, so it's going to be fresher in his mind, and the mind games have begun.
Yeah. How is Magnus sort of feeling now and doing now? What is on the back of his head after a bad loss against Zipenko in the last round?
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him, but he is known as the king of bouncing back.
Yeah.
Nearly never see Magnus lose 2 games in a row.
Sure.
One, it happens to everyone, but Magnus is great and very strong psychologically. He'll be quite philosophical. He'll say, okay, he lost in the last round, but he came up against Zipenko, who was inspired, who just played a great game. Life goes on. It's still the prelim stage, and he'll be trying to refocus.
I have to say, one thing is that recently he spoke to Henrik Carlsen in an interview, and he gave a real insight into how Magnus's mentality is after a loss. He is just basically focused on the next target. He's like, it's okay, move on to the next game. The end.
Yeah. So, it's easy to say, but hard to do, and Magnus does it very, very well. And meanwhile, the game has continued. There have been some exchanges. So White sacrificed a pawn a few moves ago. He hasn't regained that pawn yet. Now he does have the opportunity to do that. We do see White's queen on the c-file can just step up 2 squares, capture a black pawn, but that would allow Black's knight that has just moved, the one highlighted in orange there, to swing across to the left, attack the White queen, and attack one of White's remaining pawns. And I'm trying to recall if this is exactly the course of Magnus Carlsen against Anish Giri from Vaikanze. I think it might be very similar. I'm not sure if it's exactly
It
the same.
is exactly the same game. Yeah, and that one, Magnus beats Anish Giri.
So Magnus has fond memories of this position, but for sure, Nepomniachtchi will have gone and studied that game. I think all of the top players, when they see big new opening ideas from their rivals, they go away, they study those positions just in case it crops up.
If Esipenko wins this game, he can catch up with him. See if that happens. All right, but in this one, Magnus Carlsen could be about to go on another loss.
Yeah, he needs to find something really clever here to save this game. So Black didn't use the route that I was advocating. He didn't go to the edge of the board. Instead, he's trying to sneak across and deliver a check to the White King. So that's why the White King has stopped the Black Rook coming down. Okay, Nepomniachtchi surprised by that one. Looks like a very clever move, but the White King might be in some danger. There are some checkmating ideas against it. If you imagine, I'm amazed he's looking so calm, Magnus, just because it's such a scary position to deal with, and it's such a one-sided position. If you defend perfectly, you get a draw. But on every move, there are so many pitfalls. One slip, and you're just going to be checkmated, or Black's H-pawn is going to promote to a new queen. So much can go wrong.
Okay, so Nepomniachtchi is actually setting the trap. So Black's next move, if Magnus is careless, is to step forward with the Black King 1 square. And has he just allowed it?
Okay, I think he's got a defense in mind. That is simply to bring the White Rook the whole way back to the first rank, to stop any potential checks. That's why Nepomniachtchi flicked in the check. I agree with you, Vanka. I would have probably gone for that anyway as Black. Just creating some checkmate ideas. Now White's King is out of the cage, out of the box. The White King's run to safety. But is that H-pawn doomed? Black's Rook is ready to go across 2 squares and capture. How do you save it? It's not easy. White now has to hope for a miracle. Okay, that pawn has disappeared, and okay, I think Magnus running out of ideas here. I'm surprised the evaluation bar is only saying +2 for Black, because that Black pawn is so close to promotion.
Yes. 2 squares.
Yeah, now if the rooks come off, it's definitely not a draw anymore. There's no safety net there, because Black's pawn is destined to become a queen.
And Nepomniachtchi doing something very smart. He's using his king to blockade the motion, the range of White's bishop. And
look at that.
Magnus is smiling.
Yeah.
But
that looked like an ironic smile. And has he just resigned?
I think he's just resigned. Black was about to make a new queen. That Black pawn is going to cost White the rook. Maybe Magnus missed something. I'm not sure what it was, though, because that was very logical play by Black. And there we go. The world champion loses for a second game in a row.
Wow. Kudos to Nepomniachtchi, though. Obviously, it's not the big revenge after losing the world championship match, but a great game by him.
Yep, a great game. Maybe it wasn't as smooth as he would have liked, but he was always slightly better after the opening, at least. He always had a small advantage. White was always on the back foot, and yeah, the Russian